about the mixed mandate. It's very important for Ugandans to know that the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development in Uganda is one. We don't have two ministries of land to say that one is situated where and another one where. The mandate of the Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development is generated from the President. And it is constitutional. Issues to do with the policy, issues to do with the management, issues to do with the giving directives, and all that is mandated and entrusted in the Ministry of Lands. And the Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development is called Madam Nabakova Judith. I think most of you know her. All of us state ministers, in charge of lands, Harriet, in charge of housing, Persis, in charge of urban development, Margaret, all of us work in collaboration with our senior minister. Now, the other organs, all the rest of the organs which have been put in place are to supplement the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. So there is no way we shall have overlapping mandates. That gap that you see existing will immediately be covered. And I want to assure you, the office of Madam Njura, which is a desk in the State House, is working in collaboration with the Ministry of Lands. There is another office also, which is officially known, manned by Major General Ruchamuzi, I don't know if that's Major General. That one is also under the UPDF, but also working closely with the Ministry of Lands. There is the police, the Uganda Land Police Land Protection Unit in CID, under CID, which is working also closely with the Ministry of Lands. Now the rest of the presidential advisors, I've been a presidential advisor myself, senior presidential advisor on general duties. Now general duties don't mean land. No. General duties, you pick out a component where you see or identify a challenge. And if you identify in education today, tomorrow you identify in security. The other day you identify in lands. So if there is no any other presidential advisor, unless there is a presidential advisor by directive, by instrument of power, that you are a presidential advisor on land matters. But still, you will work with the Ministry of Lands, because constitutionally, it is the Ministry of Lands that is mandated. So all whatever you are posting, you cannot stop social media to work, neither will you stop TikTokers to talk, to create content. You will not stop bloggers to blog, neither will you stop tweeters to tweet. Everybody and the writers of media houses to write. Let them write, but the center of authority of the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development lies in the hands of the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. And if you are a whistleblower out there, you have gathered information, you are free to take it to the LOC1, free to take it to the RDC, free to bring it to the senior presidential advisor, free to take it anywhere, but the lasting mandate will end with the Ministry of Lands, housing and urban development constitutionally. And that's where the ruling will come from. That's why you see other rulings are bouncing back again to the Ministry of Lands. So I have called a meeting. The letters are not yet out, and now you are making me give you are preempting my letter. Yes, I've already invited all these stakeholders, and the letters are going to go out, including the Land Commission. They are all going to come. We sit down, including the State House Anti-Corruption Unit and the Investor Protection Unit. We sit down and see how we work together. All this confusion will stop immediately. Thank you. Very much. The Executive Director, the Chairperson, and members of Land Commission who are here today, the Executive Director of the Media Center, and the only trusted media center in East Africa, distinguished teams from the media, the press, other leaders who have accompanied us from the ministry, and then the nation at large, which is keenly listening to today's presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning all. I'm very much privileged and honored today as I address you as a newly appointed Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development in charge of lands, a responsibility that is heavily mandated to oversee land across the country. I'm honored also and grateful to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has put a lot of confidence and entrusted me to lead this strategic ministry, whose mandate is central in Uganda's socio-economic transformation. And as you know, without land, nothing can take place. And I want to thank him and thank everybody who participated in identifying me as the potential person among all Ugandans, more than the millions of Ugandans. I'm greatly honored. I want to thank also the team that has come together with the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, the Land Commission, which has put heads together to think for the first time and first project that I will handle in the ministry, because that was my first question. And I want to tell you that with this team, Uganda is going to move to greater heights. Today marks a very big milestone where in our collective journey, today we are seeing the future management of our land being brought forward. And I want to tell you that most of the assets where government sits, land is in the possession and it is in the stewardship of Uganda Land Commission, which is overseen by the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. And ladies and gentlemen, for better management of this land, we must have a national land inventory. An inventory, in simple terms, is a record which captures all government land, all government where hospitals sit, where education installations sit, where infrastructure sits, where security installations sit, land for industrialization, urban development, and everything where you think this is a facility for government. Police stations, mention them. All of them are seated on government land. And protecting that land is therefore protecting the future of our nation. And today, for many years, government has faced increasingly a lot of challenges because of lack of this record, arising from encroachment, fraudulent titling, overlapping claims from people who want to steal from, encroach on this land, and inadequate documentation of this public land. We've had in many cases, very many cases, people claiming to own government land, but eventually are challenged. And now these challenges have delayed strategic investments, more especially industrialization. Investors come because there are wrangles on the land, they delay for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And this one has a cost on the projects. So the cost of the projects and expose the vulnerability that we had should end. And this must end. Government assets should be properly registered, captured, and put in proper documentation. The time has come to decisively address these challenges, and we must work together. I am therefore pleased to announce to the whole country that the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, that I've been given mandate to steer, is commencing, together with the Uganda Land Commission, a comprehensive government inventory. And this inventory is going to go a nationwide, because it's a nationwide program that will identify, verify, survey, document, and digitalize all the registers. As we register all the lands that belong to government across the country. This initial representation is a major government reform. We have very many reforms that we've come up with, but we are not going to handle all of them at once. We are going to handle one by one. And this one is the first of its kind that we are going to handle in our first month of office occupation. And it is not simply about issuing land titles. No. It is about creating, for the first time, a complete, accurate, and reliable national database of government or of government land that will strengthen planning and improve accountability and safeguard public property for generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen and countrymen, this program is not intended to acquire private land. No. Private land will remain private land. As you know, it is Uganda where land belongs to people. Many countries, land belongs to government. But those ones who have their proper titles without any favor or fear, that land will remain for them. We are just targeting land which belongs to government. And it is not intended to to acquire any illegal land from anybody. It is not a compulsory acquisition exercise. No. And it is not a land redistribution program. Nothing. What we are looking at is our full mandate as government to give respect to our own land that we have as a country. So government fully respects the constitutional rights of every Ugandan to own property. Fully. And the objective now of this exercise is solely to identify and protect land already belonging to government or is held in trust for the people of Uganda. The program will be implemented in a very transparent and professional way, strictly within the constitutional and laws of Uganda. This program also is going to be implemented fully by our technical teams, which will be working closely with the local governments, cultural institutions, community leaders, neighboring landowners to ensure every person participates and the exercise becomes safe for everybody. And it is a consultative. We are going to have a lot of consultations with the stakeholders, and lawfully we are not going to do anything outside the law. And it is evidence-based. If land belongs to you, it is yours. If it doesn't belong to you, then please quit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this program is going to have a lot of benefits. Very many. And the benefits of this program are enormous. They are very many. A comprehensive government land inventory will reduce land disputes and it will minimize fraudulent transactions which are cropped around the country. It will also accelerate infrastructure development. Like I told you, the developments that have been delayed, the developments that have been under compensation but with no clear record, all those ones will be handled. And it also improve public investment planning, and it will save billions of shillings that would be otherwise be spent on litigation and compensations and dispute settling. So, most importantly, it will ensure that public installations have secure land on which future schools, hospitals, industrial parks, projects and housing, roads and cities can be developed. Important. It's a very important program. And this is also an investment which is going to better governance. It is also an investment in economic transformation that is given first priority. Remember, land doesn't grow, but the population is growing. And it is an investment in the future of the country. As government continues implementing the National Development Plan, now Plan 4, which we are going to start, and the Parish Development Model, which was the National Development Plan 3, we are securing public land, which will become even more critical in supporting industrialization, urbanization, agriculture, and service delivery. So ladies and gentlemen, and fellow Ugandans, this program cannot succeed through the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development alone, not also under the Uganda Land Commission alone, is going to work together with the efforts of all Ugandans and all of you, including the media center. And I therefore call upon all ministries, departments and agencies, local governments, and all religious institutions, development partners, civil societies, organizations, and private sector, and every patriotic Ugandan to support this important cause. The protection of government land is shared. It is a shared national responsibility, because most of the land, as you know, still uncaptured, like the percentages they have given you is recorded under different ministries, under different local governments, under different departments. So only the percentage that they told you, 23%, is captured under Uganda Land Commission, which is under Ministry of Lands. So let us reject illegal encroachment on government land, and let us also reject land fraud and corruption. Very, very important. The war now in this Kisanja, no more sleep. We should work together to make sure that this is achieved. And also let us embrace transparency, accountability, and responsible stewardship of public assets, wherever they are. Let's capture them and make sure that our country moves as one block. Together, we can build a modern land administration system that supports investment, promotes confidence, and guarantees sustainable development. As I assume this new office, I pledge to the whole nation and to Ugandans to provide political leadership that is very transparent and very accountable and responsive and result-oriented to all Ugandans. My ministry will continue to pursue reforms that improve service delivery, more especially strengthening land administration, promoting planned urbanization, and increasing access to affordable housing and land for all Ugandans. This we must do. And I also wish to assure every Ugandan that this ministry remains open to dialogue. I had very many people making a lot of accusations on Ministry of Lands. But it is not only Ministry of Lands which is challenged. Every ministry has a challenge. So for my case, my door is open. We are open to dialogue, partnership, and innovations. If you have an innovation that you feel this ministry must do, please don't go out and speak without consulting the ministry. And Uganda will move together to transform the land sector into a driver of national development. In conclusion, therefore, history teaches us that nations which safeguard their public assets create strong foundation for prosperity. We should do this, and our Uganda will prosper. Let this comprehensive government land inventory become a defining legacy in protecting Uganda's national heritage and securing opportunities for future generations. I invite every Ugandan to join government in this noble mission, and together we shall protect what belongs to our nation. Together we shall strengthen public confidence in land governance, and together we shall build trust to ourselves and to the leaders and to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, as we build more prosperous Uganda. Thank you for God and my country.
Thank you.
Represent them. For the issues to do with people who are occupying land illegally, and they know it, that they are occupying this land illegally. Because the law is clear, you have occupied land illegally, and you know you are there on either church land, or maybe you went there just as an internally displaced person on a sub-county land, you know it. I don't know why you should refuse getting off. I really don't know. Because you don't have anything, any legal mandate of that land. So, Commissioner, you give more details. Because me, according to me, you should go. You should prepare. And the way they say, should they start moving now? In fact, if I were the one, I would start moving. And if I don't start moving, and maybe obtained an illegal title, because there are those ones who have illegal titles on our land, then my ministry is going to enter into negotiations and mediations with you, because that sector is there. There is a whole team of mediators, and if we cannot mediate, then we litigate, and we move with you wherever you want us to go. We are very ready. Now, the woman who was illegally evicted, and the minister did ABCD. Like I said, I am less than 4 or 5 days in office. I'm going to dig out all this. I will read all these files, and I would also invite that woman to come to the ministry, and then we settle this matter amicably. We are about, our country is about dialogue and harmony. So we should move together. So the rest of the criteria which is used by government to compensate, we have a whole sector of we have a government, a chief government evaluator, who has a whole sector of valuation. We have a whole sector of surveys and mapping, which makes deed plans, and after this plan is made, takes for registration to the section of administration, and a due diligence is done. If this land finds itself worthy being compensated, then an audit evaluation is done. And I want to tell you, all these sectors are going to be harmonized, and they will work together under my stewardship. So whatever happened before my term, I will first go in and get proper information, because now our office is open the way I told you. Now bring this complaint direct to the office, bring the woman, then we see how these technical people are going to handle. Now Mr. Rwanga is talking about the Minister of Lands. Why now? Why have you not been handling? Yes, this is my approach. This is my approach. The Land Commission may have been there doing other things, because it is not only tied to the inventory. It has a lot of duties it is doing, and they are going to tell you. But the issue of the inventory now has come up, because we want to reduce the fights outside there. We want to know what belongs to us. Otherwise, you will find somebody sitting, another title sitting on the Uganda Media Center land when you're still here. So we should know what belongs to us, and everything has its own time. If you read the book of Ecclesiastes 3, starting from verse 1 to 10, everything has its own time on the earth. Now, the question on the other questions were what now? Ezoluganda. Lwaki exercise eno nga nene bulala mugenda kola mutya, mulina staffu, mulina abantu abasobola obikola? According to me, of course, staff has never been enough. We are going to, the team is going to tell us how we have designed this program. And I want to tell you, we have teams even at the zonal level. The ministry offices are 22 at the zonal level. We have land committees at the district. We have land boards at the district. At least every district has a land board and a land committee. Every LC1 has a committee dealing in land. So we are not going to, don't look at the district, at the ministry headquarters. Look at the manpower up to the grassroots. The budget, how much? This question is very challenging. If you tell us how much, I think one of the press ladies want to know for accountability and transparency, because we said, we promised we must be transparent. And I think without going further, let me invite you to come and handle those technical ones as we open for another lot.
I think I'll link the budget with the capacity. There's a question on whether we have enough staff. I also hint on why we are doing this exercise now. Of course, a government land inventory is not a one-time activity. I would say it is a marathon, it is not a sprint. And because you know how land matters are sensitive, we have to do it in a consultative manner, as the Honorable Minister highlighted in her statement. And so we have to do it with the communities, we have to do it with the local governments. It is not only the Land Commission and the Ministry of Lands that are going to be involved in this exercise. It is going to be a participatory exercise, and we are going to have multi-sectoral task forces and teams. And actually, as we speak, we already wrote to all the ministries, departments and agencies, and they've nominated focal point persons that we are going to be working with to handle matters of each agency and entity. On the budget, in this current financial year that we've started, of course, you cannot do a whole inventory at once, so we're going to phase it by starting with, can I call them the most urban areas, where government land faces the highest risk of encroachment. And so in this current financial year, we have a budget of 6 billion towards this exercise. And once we finish with the urban areas, then we'll have to roll out to the different regions and districts. So we shall work with the, most districts actually have district staff surveyors, so we shall be able to work with all those teams. Many units being involved in land matters, for example, the State House, I think land protection, then Office of Miss Phiona Barungi, and whether they undermine the mandates of the Commission and the Ministry. We are all one government, and like the Honorable Minister stated, we are going to have a whole of government approach to this activity and exercise. So we shall be able to bring on board all these entities, and we should be able to work with them closely, and where they've identified challenges, we should be able to work with them to resolve these challenges and settle any land disputes. Although our focus right now is on the government land, we do not want to really go into the private land and issues that might be there, but any issues on government land, we shall work closely with all these entities and agencies to have them resolved. And there was a question regarding whether we are going to arrest people, whether we are going to evict people. In this phase of the exercise, we want to capture information and to record everything that is on government land. We want to capture the level of encroachment. We're not out here in this exercise to evict people, like the Honorable Minister stated. We're not there to threaten people, but as government, definitely we have our laws. Maybe at a later stage, we could look at various options on how to maybe settle the people. Like Commissioner Kasenge mentioned, probably we could regularize their occupancy in form of giving them leases, those that do not have anything on government land. So people should not get scared at this stage. All those have a process. Except for, of course, we've seen the wetlands, the forests. Those are protected areas under our law. So those ones, definitely the law will have to take its course. On whether, on the percentages, our aim by the end of the exercise and activity is to have all the government land that is unsurveyed, surveyed. So we want to survey all that land and ensure that it has titles, that it is all titled, and everyone knows that this is government land, so that you cannot create any title, maybe through a district land board on government land. So we have to do it. It has taken time, but we are in a new Chisanja of no more sleep, so we are not going to sleep until we conclude this exercise. The country is big, and also depending on the resources. At one point there was a project that had been designed, and they had estimated that the entire land of government being titled would cost about 100 billion. If we had the 100 billion in this financial year, maybe we would deploy as many teams as possible to have the exercise done maybe within 1 year. But depending on how we perform and how the resources are availed, ideally we are looking at having this exercise completed within this term, at least within the 5 years. So it is going to be a progressive exercise, and hopefully within 5 years we should have it out, and then we now just keep updating. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Now, as the Government Commission, responding to some of these issues raised by media, one is, someone has said, as you go out, much of this land is occupied illegally by many Ugandans. One thing you must appreciate is that over time we have had a lot of challenges, including the political instability of the country and the changes in land administration. You are aware that during Amin's time there was that declaration that made all Uganda land government land, and by that declaration or pronouncement by that president then, people were free to move and settle anywhere in the part of the country, any part of the country. The other issue is that until now, until you get this subsequent major land reform, there has been a kind of overlap in the kind of work the district land boards are doing vis-a-vis the responsibility and the functions of the Uganda Land Commission. There are many district land boards that have given out land as freehold to many Ugandans when actually that land belongs to government. Therefore, we are going to realize that there are a lot of people whom we shall find that they have qualified to be bona fide occupants where they are, since they are Ugandans, and over time they are not breaking any law by settling there. And that's why you find that the 1998 Land Act, it is stated that whoever was found in an area 12 years before the promulgation of this constitution on 1995, that means that whoever was in a particular area or a particular piece of land by the year 1983, that's the cutoff point, period. Whoever was found either cultivating, grazing, or living, habiting on a piece of land by that year 1998, he became a bona fide occupant. So such people are there. The others have been allocated and they have got freehold titles by the district land boards, but erroneously. All those, together with others, fall under the category the first person Segawa asked about, who are going to be found to be illegally on that land. Therefore, the approaches are going to differ. And as you have always heard, even for the old woman in Mubende, His Excellency, all the ministers and the president said, no, this land will be compensated. And that lady, with that promise, which becomes almost a presidential directive, now will fall under what we call systematic demarcation. We shall take it up, as the minister said, when we get the proper information, and it will be part of those areas where people who have their registered interest in land or landlords are compensated using the land fund, and then we leave that land to the occupants, the Ribanja holders. So that's why I'm saying that some of those that are illegal, because of the law that is in place and because this government is for the people and land belongs to the people, we shall end up just using what we call regionalization. If we find somebody was given land by the district land board, but without the knowledge that that land is government land, and when we realize it's government land, we may not take a decision of asking this person to leave, but shall only help that person to regionalize ownership so that we cancel the freehold lease, so for him or her to be able to get the leasehold lease from the ULC, because he got the land from a wrong authority. That is that could be one of the cases. But in an area, in a case where it comes out vividly through investigations and interrogation and all that, that somebody deliberately and with all the information provided to him or her is occupying government land, and it really qualifies that this person should be asked to leave, like the minister has said. I think such people, through introspection, if you know it falls under such category, the better you started looking at for plan B, the better for you as a Ugandan. And then about compensation, I think it has been answered. The minister mentioned about valuation. The minister per se is not authority enough in this matter of valuation. All the land that government has bought from people, the valuation is done by the chief government valuer. Whenever you buy land from any individual and it has those Vivanja holders, through the process after the survey and establishing how many people are there, how many Vivanjas are involved, and the acreage and the location of the area or the land, a chief government valuer is the one that determines at what cost each acre will be paid by government. And it's always good money, for sure. It's always good money, and we have not had many. Actually, during my stay in the commission for the 9 years, have not had anybody complain about this valuation figure being low. They have always willingly taken the chief government valuer's assessment. So I think we shall go through the right process to ensure that in case the old woman's case is taken on board, we shall be able to handle.
Amanya nze Harriet Ntabazi, State Minister oba Minister Mubeezi ow'ebyettaka. Ndi musanyufu nnyo leero okwogerako ne Uganda ku nsonga ezikwatagana ku ttaka, ate nga minisita omupya eyakaweebwa obuyinza okuva wa President of the Republic of Uganda Yoweri Kaguta Museveni okulabirira ettaka lya Uganda erikwatagana ku gavumenti, erirabirirwa gavumenti n'ey'abantu. Naye ensonga etuleese wano leero nga sinajogera, njagala kwebaza President olw'okumpa obuyinza buno okulabirira ettaka eririko ebintu bingi era erigenda kukyusa enkulaakulana eya Uganda mu puroguramu empya gye tugenda okukola eya NDP4 ate nga yebadde erabirira ne NDP3 oba epuroguramu ey'enkulaakulana eya gavumenti ey'okusatu. Njagala mwebaza nesikwebaza ate nga nebaza the Uganda Land Commission, akakiiko akalabirira ettaka lya gavumenti, nenebaza ne bannange abakolako mu Ministry of Lands, baminisita benzize mu bigere, beerale nnyo, beebalire ddala, at least tulina wakutandikira. Ettaka mu Uganda kintu kyamaanyi nnyo, mukimanyi. Ettaka terikula naye abantu bakula, amasomero gakula, industries zijja, amalwaliro gazimbibwa, police headquarters zizimbibwa, ne stations endala zizimbibwa, enkulaakulana ejja naye ettaka lisigala nga lyerimu. So kituufu nnyo okulaba nti ettaka eririko ebintu bya gavumenti lirabirirwa era liwandiikwa, tufuna rekodi, tufuna ebiwandiiko ebyogera ku ttaka eryo. Ettaka lino lirabirirwa ne obuyinza bwaweebwa Uganda Land Commission, naye ate Uganda Land Commission naye ng'erabirirwa minisita ow'ebyettaka ayogera nammwe kati. Njagala bategeeza Bannayuganda nti omusingi gwe tugenda okutambulirako, ettaka lyonna lyonna erirabirirwa gavumenti, eririmu amalwaliro gaffe, eririmu amasomero gaffe, universities zonna eza gavumenti, amasomero ga primary, aga gavumenti, aga secondary, aga gavumenti, ebibira bya gavumenti, ezo ntobazi eza gavumenti, ekintu kyonna ekiyitibwa kya gavumenti. Program etuleesere wano leero kwe kufuna ebiwandiiko, record, oba okuliwandiisa, okulikwata ne tulaba nti lidda mu mikono gya gavumenti mu buwandiiki. Era kino kigenda kukolebwa wona mu Uganda okutandikirawo programu nga bweri. Era njagala bategeeza Bannayuganda kino kigenda tukendeezaako abantu ababadde ebizibu bye tubadde tujja mu bantu abeesenza ku ttaka erya gavumenti ate nga bakimanyi nti lya gavumenti. Kigenda tuyamba bubbi abantu ababadde bafuna ebyapa ku ttaka lya gavumenti mu butali butuukirivu. Kigenda tuyamba mu overlapping claims oba okulwanira ettaka kukayanira obwananyini ku ttaka lyomanyi nti siriryo, era kijja tuyamba okwanguyako enkulaakulana abamusigansimbi gye baleeta naye ate nga bayimirizibwa obutafuna enkayana eri mu ttaka. Kigenda natuyamba enguudo ezibadde ziri projects ng'enguudo okuzimba amalwaliro naki ebibadde biri delayed, bibeera delayed, bikerewa bikerewa naye nga nga byandibadde bimala bigendera mu budde, ekyo kigenda kukolebwako. Era njagala bagamba Bannayuganda ekintu kino kidda tuyamba okulaba nti buli project yonna tenafuibwa ebeera ebeere mu bulambukufu bwayo, ate kituyambe kukendeeza ku ssente ezibadde ziri mu nkayana nga tusasula, nga gavumenti esasula emisango mu kooti nabyo bijja kukendeera. Kati rekodi eno gye tugenda okufuna oba ebiwandiiko bino okuwandiisibwa kwe tugenda okukola kigenda kulaba ministry eyaffe eya Lands, Housing and Urban Development egenda kukolagana ne commission eya Uganda Land Commission, naye ate ekolagane nammwe Abannayuganda okulaba nti ettaka lyaffe lyonna libeera mu bwananyini obulungi. Tugenda kuteeka mu digital mu byakalimagezi, kubanga kati tubadde ettaka nga teriri mu byakalimagezi. Bw'oteekamu wano nti ekyapa buloka namba bweti kitudde ku ploti namba bweti, ne bw'obeera nti oli gulu kompyuta ye ejja kulaga nti ettaka eryo lya gavumenti. Bw'oteekamu ng'oli wano ng'oyagala kulibbira ku eddwaliro lya Karamoja lijja kulaga nti oli mubbi, ettaka lino lya ddwaliro lya Karamoja. So ndowooza gundi tekinologi omupya azze ajja tuyamba mu nsonga nnyingi ezirimu obubbi, overlapping titles, okukola kyo okulwanira amataka, ebyapa ebyeyongera ku birala like that. Eyo ensonga tugenda kugikolako. Era tetugenda ekintu kino programu eno tegenda kubba ttaka oba tegenderedde kubba ttaka lya muntu wa bulijjo, nedda. Tetugenderedde tetugenda kufosinga kusengula kukaka bantu kuva ku bibanja byabwe bye beegulidde n'essente zaabwe. Naye bw'oba omanyi nti oli ku ttaka eryo walijjako tolina biwandiike, oba wajjako ng'omufuluki oba omuddusi omusenze, yes, nina okubagamba mu nnimi zonna mutegeere, kubanga kati mwina okutegeera. Yes, bw'oba ng'ozeeko oli mufuluki oba oli musenze oba weetaddeko nga tolina bwananyini, tolina kyereetera kyerondera, nedda, olina okukola ki? Olina okuvaako. Kati ate tekigenderedde kugaba amataka gatali gaffe, nedda. Ettaka lyonna eryaffe erya gavumenti lijja kudda mu Uganda Land Commission mu rekodi emu. Njagala kubategeeza Abannayuganda nti ekigendererwa ekikulu kulaba nti ettaka lyaffe libeera n'obukuumi, era tulitegeera, tuliwandiike, era tuliweereze ebyapa ebitegerekeka. Nga ngenda okumaliriza ttiimu zaffe zino z'olaba Uganda Land Commission ne Ministry eya Lands egenda kukolagana ne ttiimu zaffe eziri eyo mu regions, MZOs, ministerial zonal offices zonna eziri eyo, Uganda land boards eziri ku district, committees eziri ku LOCs zonna zijja kwetaba mu kino ekintu kituyambe okulaba nti gavumenti efuna inventory oba record oba ki obukugu okukwata ebikwatagana ku ttaka lyabwe likendeze ku lubbi likendeze ku beesenza lyanguye enkulaakulana era abantu bateeke mu gavumenti obwesige kitukendeze n'essente ezibadde zisaasaanibwa mu kusasula mu kuliyirira abali mu kooti ate kyanguye enkulaakulana enkyukakyuka mu nkulaakulana n'abannayuganda abato basange nga rekodi ennungi kweri kitukendeze ku bijambiya byetutemagana. Programu eno nga tumaliriza egenda kukolagana na departments oba ebitongole bya gavumenti tukolagane wamu ne gavumenti eza wakati n'eza wansi eza lokolo tukolagane n'ebitongole ebya culture tukolagane ebyobuwangwa n'abamadiini bonna tukolagane na buli omu ali ku ttaka ng'akolerako enkulaakulana civil societies development partners n'ebitongole ebyobwannannyini private sector bonna ne bannayuganda abali patriotiki abalwanira omuntu wa bulijjo bonna bajja kwetaba mu kintu kino era ng'amaliriza leka tulwanise abantu ababba ettaka lya gavumenti abantu abeesenda ku ttaka nga balina ekigendererwa ekyokulitwala abaagala kutwala amayumba ga gavumenti ate nga tebakkiriziddwa abaagala kutwala ettaka ery'amakanisa ery'amasomero ery'amalwaliro eryaki tetwagala ate orders zive ewa president vaawo ate ng'okimanyi nti olina okukola ki okuvaawo ettaka lino kijja tuyamba also okuzimba omutindo mu by'ettaka mu sisitimu zaffe eza land administration era njagala basuubiza nga minisita omupya ow'ebyettaka tingenda kukolagana nammwe oluggi lwange ngenda luggulawo era luggudde muleete ensonga zonna zonna ezikwatagana ku ttaka zijje mu Ministry of Lands ekitiibwa kya Ministry of Lands kikomewo era njagala bagamba mujja kuba mwekendeza kunyagulula obubbi obuli ku ttaka eryewaffe erya gavumenti. Njagala kubagamba nti eno enkola mpya amba lwaki leero yes buli kimu kirina obudde bwakyo era njagala bagamba nti bune bwe budde ettaka lya gavumenti lidde mu mikono gya gavumenti bwe liba liryo lisigale mu mikono gyo bwe liba lyaffe lisigale mu mikono yaffe era tugenda mu maaso tujja gekwatagana wamu tusomese abantu tukolagane n'ebitongole ebya gavumenti byonna ebikwatagana ku ttaka kusomesa abantu era ngenda nayise n'ebitongole byonna ebikwatagana ku ttaka tulabe nti ekigambo ky'ettaka tukikwatira wamu mu kulaba nti ettaka lyaffe lifuna rekodi eno liprotectinge balikuume ekitiibwa ky'eggwanga ne Uganda. Njagala basuubiza era mpita abannayuganda bonna ebitongole byonna mujje tukwatire wamu mpita abantu bonna abalina amaanyi abakyalina amaanyi agakola mujje tukolere wamu mpita abantu bonna abalwanirizi b'eddembe mujje tukwatire wamu abantu bonna abalwanira Uganda okukulaakulana tolindirira ku blaming oba kugamba Uganda tekoze aba tebakoze batya buno bwe budde jangu tukolere wamu Uganda yaffe egende mu maaso all arms of government executive kati yekirese tusaba palamenti tukwatagane nayo era ne judiciary tukolere wamu okulaba nti gavumenti efuna kyeyagala tuzimbe Uganda enungi. For God and my country. Kulwa Uganda n'ensi ya. Kulwa Katonda n'ensi ya.